What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be going over the TTM Squeeze indicator. After trading for 6-7 years, it always kind of seems like you're changing up your style or changing your approach, adding a new tool, new feature, or new indicator. And recently, the TTM Squeeze indicator is something I've been using religiously, and I really like it. And I want to show you guys what I've been coming to find is useful about it, and how you guys might be able to use this in your trading approach. What we're going to do is go over the installation setup here on Thinkorswim, and then we're also going to be talking about how to use the indicator as well. So the first thing you're going to do is go to the Studies tab. So once you have a chart open on Thinkorswim, which I'm assuming most of you guys probably already know how to do, so you go up to this beaker icon. This is also the Study tab. Once you get into here, you can go ahead and just search up TTM, and it's going to be the TTM Squeeze. Highlight it, hit Add Selected, Apply, and you should have the TTM Squeeze indicator. As you can see, I double added mine there, so I have two now. So I don't need that other one there, so I can just obviously go back into the Studies tab and delete that one off, so that way I don't just take up extra screen space. So first things first, what I want to touch on about the TTM is really everything you're looking at. There's kind of a lot going on, and I could see where some people might get a little confused. So let's just go ahead and do that. And so the way I'm going to map this off is there's about six different things to pay attention to. So first of which is this middle line. So the line in the middle, okay, we're going to talk about that. Now specifically, we're going to talk about when it's green, when it's red. Next, we're going to talk about the oscillations here, both the up and the downside. We're going to touch on the baby blue, dark blue, red, and yellow. And that's really going to cover all of the things we have to talk about on the TTM Squeeze indicator. So first things first, let's start with the middle line here, that green line in the middle, all right? So the green line going through the middle, you can just basically think is normal. Most of the time, when you're using this indicator, the line will be green. So it's almost like home base starting point 10 times out of, not 10 times out of 10, but seriously, like 8 times out of 10, whenever you're looking at a stock, it's normally going to be green. So that is kind of normal, all right? When it's not normal is when you get this red patch or kind of red section in the middle of your green, okay? That's what's important to talk about. So when you get the red little patch in the middle of your indicator, that is essentially telling you that the stock is seeing mixed emotion, okay? A lot of times you will see this occur as a stock has already made a good move on the day and it's going through sort of a consolidation period, and you think it's going to continue to break up, and then it actually ends up not breaking out. So there's an example of this that I'll show you, and it was on the stock DSS just today, all right? So if we go over to DSS, I'll show you if I zoom in. There was this moment today where the stock was consolidating on the upside, right here. So we're kind of going through this consolidation. Almost looked like it would break up, right? If we look down, you can notice that the TTM was in fact red. So this would be a situation where we say there's some mixed emotion in that pennant, and it might be better just to sit back, wait, and see how it plays out versus trying to go long in that situation, because all of the stars just aren't quite aligning. You're getting a red TTM bar in the middle, and that can tell you, hey, there's kind of some mixed emotion here, all right? So when we're looking at the TTM and it's red, going through consolidation phases or moments where we think there might be a long move, a lot of times it's going to be fakey or just best not to even trade it. So we can look at all these situations here today with DSS. So the first time the TTM goes red, we kind of get this jump, then a slam, then another jump up, and then a slam, and then it kind of goes green, and we're able to hold sort of a better long move, right? In here, we're red, we're just consolidating sideways. TTM flips from red to green, and now we're kind of on the up move. Now, you had this moment where it went red in between there, nothing really happened. So again, it's not the most perfect indicator, but a lot of times it can give you some extra edge, and it would have been perfect in this situation where you've seen a wedge formation, yet the TTM was showing red, so good time to maybe to say, hey, let's hold off and take a second and reevaluate. Now what we're going to talk about is the baby blue. So if you go and look up the generic understanding of TTM, maybe on Thinkorswim or on the internet, you might see something that tells you that when it's baby blue, momentum is up or strong, or it's time to go long. And that's not incorrect. Whenever it's baby blue, you're normally going to be going through a long move, which suggests that momentum is in your favor to the upside, okay? Again, baby blue, momentum is in your favor and moving to the upside. When it turns to dark blue, it just pretty much means that the stock is either going to start coming down or you're going to see a pullback occur, okay? So baby blue is strong and up. Red means pulling back or starting to gain some weakness. If we go and take a look at the bottom side, you will see that it's red and yellow. Obviously, red means for selling down, and yellow is there to signal you that the stock might in fact reverse or go into a long play. In a second, I'm really going to tie this together and give you guys the full picture. So again, the red on the TTM is there to mean that the stock is in fact probably selling down or going through a bearish move. And then the yellow is there to represent that, hey, this down move that you're seeing could be close to concluding and starting to go into a long move, okay? So if you were to use TTM or an approach of buying when it turns baby blue and selling when it turns dark blue, you probably would have a really, really hard time. And the reason I say that is by the time it turns baby blue, you're probably already buying a little bit high, and then if you wait for it to turn red, dark blue, you'll be selling in the pullback, and it's really just not a profitable approach. So if you happen to come across the internet where you see a video discussing TTM Squeeze indicator and it's suggesting that you want to buy when it's baby blue and sell when it's dark blue, you will most oftentimes not win that way. It's going to be very, very stressful because the area of opportunity can be far less, all right? So the way you want to go about using this is you essentially are going to want to be more long bias or considering a long, say after the stock sells down to an area of support and it starts to shift yellow. Because if it starts to shift yellow, the move hasn't even taken off yet. It means that we have started or we're about to or it's close to or it could be getting ready to move up. Therefore, you're going to be buying in sort of the low dip point. And then as it turns baby blue, that tells you the momentum is now in your favor and your original thesis was probably correct. So now you're riding the momentum up, and as soon as it starts to turn dark blue, you could in fact sell, and you'd be selling somewhere in the top. So your entry would be down here, your sell would be up here. Whereas if you went for a baby blue entry and a dark blue exit, your entry would have happened, maybe here, okay? You ride it up for a little bit, you wait for it to turn red, and you'd be selling there. So profit potential becomes very, very small, or it does in fact become a little smaller. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about is the red side. When the stock is getting ready to bottom out, again, it goes from the red to the green. All right, actually, we're just going to go through the full cycle here. Excuse me. So the way that we go about using this is really we want to be entering where we think the stock is getting ready to bounce when it's in the yellow. And then as the stock is going through its baby blue phase, we're getting ready to take profits at resistance points. And as it starts to turn dark blue, that's usually where we're going to be closing out the position in anticipation that you could go from dark blue to a red, okay? Now, the one thing that we have yet to talk about is the oscillation. The larger the wave essentially means the stronger the momentum, okay? The smaller the waves essentially means less momentum in that moment in time. So when the oscillations are really big, like you see here, you're probably seeing big swing moves, which means your pullbacks can be more aggressive, or you can expect maybe more volatility within the move that you are currently in. Whereas if you see here, the oscillation is a little smaller, the volatility was not all that crazy. We were just kind of going side to side. We eventually broke out and then seen a lot of momentum, right? But look at what happens to the pullbacks in this momentumous move. You can see a pullback's pretty sharp, big move up, big sharp pullback, another big move up, big sharp pullback. When the oscillation momentum is big, that tells you that you're probably seeing the stock having more wild swings. When you have a dip, you can probably buy in and make more profit or take a bigger loss because the volatility at that point has increased. As you can see, big oscillation here, big move up, good pullback, big move up, strong pullback. You could make money buying the pullback, selling short here, buying the dip here. It's not like these little baby moves in between, okay? A lot of times, big oscillation is going to result in big swinging moves, pullbacks included. That is primarily the TTM squeeze indicator in a nutshell. Now, the best way that I particularly use it is when I match it up with standard deviation. Because you could look at the TTM indicator and go, oh, it's yellow, I should get long, and then look, it drops out. Or, hey, it's yellow, that means reverse, and then it drops out. As you know, there's so much more to trading. But let's just say, for a moment, that in this picture, you knew that as the stock got towards the yellow line here, or the orange line, you were supposed to sell. And if it got towards the yellow line down here, it's more of a buy. Let's say that you knew that. And let's say that's how the world works, which it kind of does. When we look down at the TTM and see that it's yellow, green, and it's next to what we already know to be this orange line, the buy point, that tells us that, hey, you believe the yellow line's a buy point, the TTM in the middle is green, and it's yellow. There, for me, are 3 reasons to be more long biased. Because A, I know that down here at this yellow line, that's a buy point. And I know when the TTM is yellow, that's signaling a buy. And when it's signaling green, that means there's more confidence, or it's just less confusing, if we may. All right? Now, if we go up here and we say that this orange line is a sell point, so stock goes all the way up, gets to the yellow line, and we look down, and we're starting to see big dark blue wave come in around where we already believe to be a sell point, and then it goes baby blue, and then it goes back to dark blue in an area where we already believe it to be a sell point, back to baby blue, back to dark blue in an area where we already believe it to be a sell point. We would suggest it's probably a signal to be going short or to sell the stock and get out of our long position. Again, because look, you got a big dark blue, then you went to baby blue, then a big dark blue, then a baby blue, then a big dark blue. You're already starting to see some mixed emotion within that move because you're going from color scheme to color scheme, so frequently. So if in the event we know that this orange line is sort of a selling zone, and then we start to see our indicator giving us selling indications, we're probably going to listen to that. So that, ladies and gentlemen, right there in a whole is a TTM squeeze indicator. If you guys have any more questions, feel free, comment down below. I will answer a couple of those questions and get back to you guys. And if there's something else that you want me to make a video on regarding indicators or more clarification, please leave it in the comment section below and I'll get around to making a video on that topic for you guys. As always, thanks for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up button so the algorithm recognizes this video and shares it to more people. That being said, I'll see you on the next one.